I think there are two Georges all over this country. I've lived in rural New York State, which had much of the same problems I'm discussing here, because I find it inherently wrong that folks in Decatur County have no way to access their regular health care. Whereas if I were living in Atlanta and I had an equally income level there, an equally low income level, I could still access health care.
We have a physical barrier that separates our community into two halves, where historically and traditionally families of color live below that Highway 84, and typically Caucasian white families live north of that, and that needed to change.
Income levels are problematic. Access to appropriate food and nutrition. I mean, in a lot of those communities, the only access to groceries of any kind is a convenience store.
We have so many people with prediabetes, and that some of them didn't know they had it, or they were not taking care of themselves and weren't going to the doctor, and then trying to go to the doctor, transportation.
We all like to say that everything is 5 minutes away here in Bainbridge, but it's only 5 minutes away if you have a car. And if you have to walk to your doctor's appointment in 105-degree heat, it's a tough road.
%30 of our population is uninsured. So the people who don't have insurance typically don't have vehicles.
Initiative highlighted and placed on a more accelerated path of being able to address these disparities that everyone in the community is having to deal with.
It's creating unique services that are targeted to different populations that may have greater need. And so, we use the analogy several times. If you have 3 people of different sizes who are trying to look over a fence to see a baseball game, if you give them each the same size box, you're still going to have deficiencies in the shorter people. Equity means creating the proper size box for those individuals so all of them have the same view. And that equated into healthcare means creating the services that are necessary for those individuals so that they all have better health outcomes.
Everything else that is done that is supposed to benefit the whole community, that accessibility is at the table from day one, or people representing every segment of the community.
The projects that we launched were based on the community needs and the focus groups that were held prior to the implementation of the project.
And so a couple of things that we were able to do with those funds from the grant was, one, purchase and install solar lights around the walking track.
The CIDC responded through its mini-grant program toward mini-grant offering in keeping with one of its programmatic goals of active lifestyles.
So it took a while for us to become a cohesive, collaborative after we were successful in getting that grant. But after that, we became the go-to organization for health needs. Here comes COVID at that point.
Yesterday, I had to FaceTime a family member so they can say goodbye to their mom, their aunt, their grandma, and I never thought that we would ever have to go through this without family members being beside them.
The challenge for us right now is the sustainability. We know that there's funding out there, and we're trying to create some unique outreach efforts to some of our corporate partners so that we can allow the foundation to kind of pull back. But I think they planted some really vibrant seeds for what we want to do and what we feel is necessary to create equity in healthcare.
The long-term outcome for the initiative. There's an approach that is community-based and determined by the local participants or residents in that community.